Welcome to Deep Dive. Today, we're talking about the final, explosive chapter of a love story that had everyone talking. So, what really happens after the I do's? When the honeymoon ends and the real world, with all its dangers, comes rushing back in. Let's explore the last part of the story, 50 Shades Freed. Our journey with Anna and Christian is going to break down into 5 key parts. We'll start with their blissful honeymoon, then see what happens when old dangers creep back into their new life. We'll navigate an unexpected future, confront the past head-on, and finally see what it really means to be freed. So, let's dive right in. Okay, so picture this. Our story opens with the newlyweds, Mr. and Mrs. Grey. They are on their honeymoon, basking in the gorgeous Mediterranean sun, and they are literally a world away from all the drama in Seattle. They're just wrapped up in this perfect little bubble of their new marriage. And for Christian, you can just feel what a huge moment this is for him. It's the ultimate victory. This one little whisper, right after they get married, it says everything. It's the culmination of his entire obsessive, all-consuming pursuit of Anna. She's finally his. You know, their time away is filled with so much passion and playful little moments. But even in paradise, that protective, almost controlling side of Christian is always right there just under the surface. This line is just so Christian. On one hand, it's a sweet concern, but on the other, it's a little bit of a warning, isn't it? A reminder that his desire is all tied up in his need to control everything about her. But Anna, well, she's not the same shy woman who stumbled into his office anymore. Now, as his wife, she is not afraid to push back a little. It's in these small, defiant moments that she really shows her independence, reminding him, and maybe even herself, that she's his partner, not his property. Of course, paradise can't last forever. Reality has a way of crashing the party. A security problem back home forces them to cut their perfect honeymoon short and head back to Seattle. And that's where their new life and some very old dangers are waiting for them. So they get back home, and this is where the real struggle begins. Trying to actually merge their two very, very different worlds. Anna wants her independence, she wants to keep her own name at her job, so what does Christian do? He buys the entire company. I mean, it is such a classic Christian Grey move. He thinks he's protecting her, but to Anna, it feels like he's just trying to own her. And their arguments really become this battle over what their marriage is actually going to be. And while all of this is going on, all this drama inside their relationship, they have absolutely no idea that someone else is out there. Someone from their past is watching them from the shadows, just holding on to a grudge that is about to explode. And that someone is Jack Hyde. Remember him? Anna's disgraced former boss? Well, his obsession and his jealousy have just been festering this whole time, and he is back to get his revenge. But here's the thing. As terrifying as the threat of Jack Hyde is, there's an even bigger challenge coming for them, one that's going to come from inside their relationship. It's a twist that neither of them could have ever seen coming, and it's going to test their love to its absolute limit. During a pretty routine visit to the doctor, Anna gets the news that is going to change everything. She's pregnant, and you can just imagine her world stopping in that moment as she tries to process the reality of it. A baby. Now, you'd think this would be a moment of pure joy, right? But Christian's reaction is not that. It's pure, unfiltered fear and anger. And this outburst, it comes from a really deep place. It's rooted in his own traumatic childhood. To him, a baby doesn't mean family and love. It means the end of his time with Anna, and it means becoming a father, a role he feels completely, totally unfit for. So this news, instead of bringing them closer, it just rips them apart. Christian is so terrified that he just retreats. He shuts down, leaving Anna feeling completely heartbroken and alone. But as he's spiraling, something incredible happens to Anna. She finds this new strength inside herself. This is her baby, and she is going to have it, whether he's by her side or not. And it's at this exact moment, I mean, the worst possible timing, when their relationship is at its most fragile, when they're barely even speaking, that's when Jack Hyde makes his final, terrifying move. Anna gets a phone call, and the voice on the other end is her absolute worst nightmare. It's a voice she had prayed she would never have to hear again. It's Jack Hyde, and he tells her he has Christian's sister, Mia. His demand is simple, and it's brutal. $5 million in cash. and Anna has to be the one to deliver it, alone. He has her completely backed into a corner. Mia's life is on the line, and there's no time to wait for Christian. But this is not the same Anna from the first book. She's terrified, of course, but she is also thinking so clearly. She uses all of her new resources and this deep well of courage she's found. She follows Jack's rules, but she has a plan of her own, using secret code words at the bank to alert Christian's security team. She's not a victim anymore. The confrontation just explodes into violence. Hyde attacks her, and it's absolutely brutal. But in a moment of pure survival, she fights back. She manages to get her hands on a hidden gun, and she shoots him right before he knocks her unconscious. Just moments later, Christian's team storms in to find total chaos. This whole traumatic event, it forces a reckoning. It's not just about stopping Jack Hyde anymore. For Christian, this is a violent, powerful catalyst for change. It forces him to finally confront all of his past demons and to finally face his future as a father. At the hospital, Christian is just terrified, watching over an unconscious Anna. The thought of losing her and losing their unborn child completely shatters him. In this one moment of absolute fear, he's forced to see what really matters. And it isn't about control or his damaged past, it's about her. It's about their family. And this just shows the transformation so perfectly. This crisis, it finally breaks down those last walls around his heart. The man who was raging about diapers and vomit, he's gone. In his place is a man who fully, truly accepts their child and is ready to be a father. And Anna's words years later just confirm it. He became the dad he was so scared he could never be. So the story ends a few years later, and we see them and they've found a real lasting peace. They're surrounded by their growing family. You can feel from Anna's words that all the storms have passed. They finally have their happy ending. Life is good. After facing down every possible threat, blackmail, kidnapping, and their own deep personal demons, they finally find their freedom. But it was never really about escaping the contracts or the playroom, was it? It was about being freed from the chains of their pasts, freed from their deepest fears. And maybe that's what being freed really is, finding liberation in loving someone and being loved back for all the shades of who you are.